Welcome back to the Loner Ranger Radio Show. My name is Bruce Woodburn. I am the Loner Ranger. We talked about in the last segment how to save money, how to get a first-time home buyer into the market, and my commitment to making sure that I'm helping more young people. And we talked also a little bit about what's going on with Gen X and millennials right now, and they're way behind the previous generation, and that's not good. Most of it, if you look through history, most generations have done better than the generation previous to them, but not Gen X and not the millennials. And so in 2016. They did a survey through the Federal Reserve of St. Louis and found that white millennials were way behind, and black millennials were even further behind. Matter of fact, they were behind by about $28,000 from the previous generation. Now they went ahead and looked forward on that and determined that up to 2019. They had made a huge recovery. As a matter of fact, they had almost caught up to being even, but not quite. So white millennials were down by 5% from their previous generation as of 2019. Here's the unfortunate thing, guys. Black millennials, same generation, down 52% from the previous generation. That's horrible. It's horrible to know that there's more people in government, more minorities in government, and yet the black generation for today is doing far worse than the previous generation. I'm committed to helping you. If you're a minority, you call me at 407-706-3313. I'll get you on the straight and narrow. I'll get you on the straight and narrow. You don't have to be a minority. I don't care who you are. You can be black, Hispanic, white. Doesn't matter. I'm here to help you. And I want to tell you, I'm going to bring on the air right now my son, Chase Woodburn, who is an inspiration to all young people. I'm going to tell you, I'm super proud of him and the journey he went through to become a homeowner. So, Chase, welcome onto the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. So, I know we've talked about this in a previous show, but I want to kind of go back and recoup. You graduated from UCF when?
May 2020. So a year ago next month.
A year ago next month. And you decided you wanted to become a homeowner because you said you had saw me teaching my wealth building classes and how to accumulate wealth that way.
Yeah. So I saw that, and I saw, how the money that you're putting into rent is really going nowhere for you. It's not helping you out at all. You're not leveraging any sort of equity or anything. And I wanted to make sure I broke that cycle of being a tenant as soon as possible.
So you had, when you graduated, even before you graduated, you went from a dorm type thing into renting a home with a couple of roommates.
Yeah. So I had 3 friends that I was renting out a house with. We were paying, it was in a decent area, but we were paying around $2,000 a month between 4 of us.
Okay. So $500 a month.
Yeah, about $500 a month per person. Yeah,
per
exactly.
person. And then you didn't mean to do this, but you accidentally did something pretty darn smart. Nobody even knew it at the time.
Yeah. So this was a really interesting turn of events that we had. So I necessarily didn't qualify for the price range I was looking at.
When you were looking to buy a home.
When I was looking to buy a home.
But let's talk about the rent and how you collected rent, because it turns out it will segue into how that benefited you.
Right. So me being concerned about making sure that everything was paid on time, we were all on the straight and narrow with everything, I took it upon myself to collect the rent and pay my landlord.
Okay. So all of your roommates then paid you the rent, and then you paid the landlord.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So you did that to make sure that the rent was paid and your credit was good.
Right.
Which was smart. But you didn't know what it was going to do when it came time to buying a home.
Right.
So you got out of school, you graduated from college right in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
I had my my graduation ceremony on YouTube. So.
On YouTube, right? So, I mean, believe me, that's a different story. But you graduated from college. We celebrated in the house on YouTube. I remember that.
Yep.
And you had already started working. Like, you started working part time here at the mortgage company, doing marketing and things like that, while you decided you wanted to get your mortgage license.
Yeah.
So you were an entry-level employee. I know, I don't want you people out there thinking that he came to work with me and he was making a bunch of money. You were an entry-level employee, and you're still one of the beginners, because you're finishing up an amazing part of your training here, but it's not like you're making $100,000
Right.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you had discovered that you had to research what loan programs would meet your needs best.
Correct. Yeah. So the loan programs that stuck out to me immediately was the first thing everyone really thinks about is FHA. Right. So you're getting your 3.5% down. You're financing in your upfront mortgage insurance. They're pretty lenient when it comes to your debt to income ratio and your credit history. All that was immediately appealing to me, as it is for most people. The one thing I didn't like about it was that the PMI is not, it's not relative to your credit score or anything. You pay a flat mortgage insurance rate. Right.
But it allows folks that may not have great credit to get into a home.
Exactly.
But you had pretty good credit because you had established some credit cards while you were in college, and kept them low so that your credit scores were high.
Right. So I think I had a 760 credit when it all.
That's a 22-year-old kid with a 760 credit.
So I made sure my credit usage was below my 30%. I was ticking off all the boxes. You want to make sure that you have consistent usage, you're paying your bills on time, you are keeping your usage, relatively speaking, low, but still active. And I did all that, and I only had, 4 years of credit history, but, I started when I was 18, and by the time I was 22, I was set.
Yeah,
so
that's great. So then you looked at FHA.
I looked at FHA. I liked what was there on the surface, but I thought that there may be something better, especially because of my credit score. I thought that conventional may have been better if I had to shell out the extra, 1.5%.
Okay. So how much can you put down on a first-time homebuyer program conventional?
That's a great question. So the program that I found that I really liked was, it's called Fannie Mae Home Ready. And that is actually a 3% down conventional program.
So I want to just plant this in, because if you're listening to the show right now, I've got Chase Woodburn on with us. He was 23 years old, bought his first home at 22. If you want to know more about these programs, I want you to go to my website at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com, or call the office or call the station at 407-706-3313. That's 407-706-3313. All right, so you discovered that a conventional loan was probably better suited for you because you had the credit score.
Right.
But it's more limited on debt ratio too.
Exactly. So you have really 5% less leniency when it comes to your debt to income ratio, right?
Okay. So not as flexible.
Not as flexible. But there are some more avenues for income that you can use on the Fannie Mae program.
Tell us about that.
So this comes back to me collecting the rent for my other roommates.
Okay.
So what I was able to do is I was planning on bringing a roommate with me. I mean, I'm still only 23 years old, and I wanted to save a little bit more money, so I wanted to have someone else in the house with me. So I brought one of my roommates over that I had previously had that was paying me the rent, and I was able to use what's called border income.
How long did you have to verify that border income?
You have to have 12 months
worth of border income proved in the past.
Right. So
in your bank account.
Exactly. So that's going to be, I did that over Venmo, so I could see my Venmo transactions on a monthly basis.
Okay. So, I want to talk more about this. This is really interesting stuff. So, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. You can go to my website at webringyouhome.com. That's webringyouhome.com, or you can call me at 407-706-3313. That's the Loan Arranger at 407-706-3313. And by the way, Chase is now a licensed loan officer, been through the program, and he's going to walk you through the program for all you young adults. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 5 minutes.